Labor power in America is in decline. Real wages are in decline by 2%. Labor's share of income is down 1%. Union membership also fell by 300,000 members, leading to only a 10.3% union membership rate at the end of 2021. There have been 178 strikes against employers this year, according to a tracker by Cornell University's School of Industrial and Labor Relations. The Bureau of Labor Statistics also stated that there was 12 strikes this past year involving 1,000 or more workers. Labor power needs a boost. The right to organize labor must be bolstered. But are all strikes created equal? Let's explore that and more through this week's Basic Brief Stories. Hello, Universal people! It's time for another weekly Basic Brief covering our top stories of the week every Friday and providing our commentary related to our organization's mission of the Universal Basics. Remember, subscribe and become a member to support our team in creating this content and more to grow the media home of the Universal Basics, the People's Basics. Stories in this week's Basic Brief are related to labor and protest. Stories that are included are the U.S.-Canada border trucker protest in Ottawa, union membership rates in decline in 2021 despite a surge in strikes, new reporting on union busting efforts by Activision Blizzard, Starbucks, Target, and Google. Joe Biden creating a labor task force which is helping to promote unionization in the White House. There is a concrete mixer driver labor strike that is being led by the Teamsters Union near Seattle. And finally, there are public school teachers protesting across America, in Puerto Rico for better wages and pensions, in Oakland, California over a lack of COVID safety protocol, and in New York City over the termination of unvaccinated employees. The People's Basics stands in solidarity with workers' right to collectively organize. Unionization and protest are expressions of free speech in an assembly protected by our First Amendment. Does that mean we must agree with the purpose and expression of all groups? No. Does that mean we assert that all groups are run fairly, justly, efficiently, or with beneficial purpose? Also no. But should they have the ability to assemble if their goals do not involve conspiratorial violence? Yes, they may exercise their rights if they do not commit acts of violence either as individuals or as part of an incitement of a mob. A guiding principle in the nation's history is that government, at any level, can only infringe on our First Amendment rights by showing an overriding need, such as an immediate threat to public safety, and then only in ways that are the least possible intrusion for the shortest time required to meet the need. This is all a prelude to why we must conclude that not all labor strikes nor unions are equal in their constitution and demands. Unions, like parties, are constituted in theory by the wills of their memberships. However, like parties, leadership often becomes detached through a series of political bureaucracies. They make decisions that preserve their power by pleasing outside stakeholders to the detriment of those they democratically are supposed to represent. This isn't to say unionization is bad. Like Churchill said with democracy, so too does it apply with unions. Democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others that have been tried. Protesting across America regarding COVID-19 vaccine mandates is something that I can respect and disagree with. However, the way it's done can be reasonably regulated. An example of a case where reasonable regulation can be seen has been the Ottawa government's handling of the U.S.-Canada trucker protests against vaccine mandates. Let's take a listen to some locals explain how they felt about the protest and how the Ottawa government has responded.
They've done their protest and they should have been sent home a long time ago.
I'm an Uber driver. I live on day-to-day basis. I had enough of COVID already 2 years, and now these people came and inhabited the city. I have to refuse 5 out of 10 trips just because they want to come to downtown or go from downtown.
People living down here at Sal, I run a shirt shop here and we can't open because of them. We've had staff assaulted by them. I've been assaulted by them. Bumped into, tried to take my sign. The verbal abuse is just not. My wife and I spent 6 hours on Saturday in the red zone, constant harassment.
I'm very sorry if your life is being disrupted, but then at the same time, I would encourage you to come out here and help this end quicker so that we can all get back to life as it should be, quiet and peaceful and not told what to do. If you're listening and you're living around here and you don't like all the honking, I don't like all the honking. I actually got a ticket for honking my horn, so, which is crazy. We'll have to see what happens with that.
One of my neighbors went and stood out in the middle of the street to tell the truckers that we don't agree with this. So I went and joined her in front of the truck and just did a thumbs down symbol. You know, every time it honked, I did a thumbs down. We're all fed up of COVID, right? We're all fed up. I have every respect for people who don't agree with government and who want to make that known. They have the right to do so, you know, but they don't have the right to take us hostage.
As you can see, after weeks of disturbing noise, road blockages, displays of hate symbols, and hate crimes, the government took action to regulate the disturbance to ensure other citizens' rights and safety were preserved. Lawsuits have now been levied to the tune of $9.8 million against the organizers of these protests, as well as against the Ottawa's government for a lack of enforcement. Ottawa has furthermore declared a state of emergency due to the blockades threatening the security of its citizens. They have seized thousands of liters of fuel, arrested 24 protesters, and have launched 80 criminal investigations related to these ongoing protests. This is not a sympathetic working class movement as some would like to frame it. 90% of truckers are vaccinated. 67% of the public in Ottawa desires these vaccine mandates. And most organizers aren't working class truckers. The main organizing and fundraising force behind these protests is in fact a leader from a minor right-wing political party, the Maverick Party, Tamara Lich. This party aims for Western Canadian secession from the country and has raised through GoFundMe, with the help of American Republicans and other Canadian conservatives, millions for the trucker Convoy, which the courts have also now decided should be frozen. This does not represent the will of working class truckers. The Canadian Trucking Alliance, representing far more working class truckers than present at this convoy, has condemned these protests for not representing the will of general trucker membership. As I said before, 90% of truckers are vaccinated. People have a right to protest. In that act of protest, however, they do not have the right to violate the rights of others. We've been taught since we were kids that two wrongs do not make a right. In the process of labor solidarity, we do not have to lose our discretion for the rights of the public. In supporting democracy and free expression, we must allow both their ability to express themselves and organize. However, when push comes to shove, the democratic will of the public must prevail for justice. This is going to do it for us here at the People's Basics for our weekly Basic Brief. Make sure you check the description section down below to read up on all the other stories we mentioned in this Basic Brief video. While you're down there, please leave this video a like to help us with the algorithms, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified of our new weekly videos. If you want to help the People's Basics grow so we can continue to produce content like this and others, advocating for universal basics and facilitating grassroots networking, well then please become a Patreon member for $1 a month. The premium features we'll offer for our community will grow over time thanks to supporters like you. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, get active, Universal people.